is Valley News Live at 4.
Jamie, squeeze my hand, Jamie, squeeze my hand. She was talking very loudly, and he was squeezing her hand.
Emotional testimony today in court from Jennifer Grant, the wife of Jamie Grant. Back in May 2017, he was assaulted outside the Hodo in downtown Fargo. He died 9 days later. A trial now begins against Darren Patterson. Patterson was arrested for aggravated assault after the incident. He pleaded guilty to negligent homicide. Now a civil trial to determine whether Patterson is responsible financially and otherwise for damages. Today, Grant's wife of 23 years was forced to relive what happened, saying since then she doesn't socialize and she hasn't gone back to work.
He just, stared me in the face. And it's very, very serious and said, Jenny, Jamie's hurt, and he's hurt bad. He's in the hospital. He said we got attacked. And he said this big guy just came running down the sidewalk and attacked us.
Valley News Live will be in the courtroom every day of this trial and will bring you the latest as it develops. We're hearing that Patterson is expected to testify. Meanwhile, another high-profile trial continues out in Bismarck today. It's the trial against Chad Isaac, the man accused of killing 4 people at a maintenance facility in Mandan. The prosecution attorney opened with statements to the jury that outlined what they can expect to hear over the next 3 weeks. They told jurors each piece of evidence will be like a puzzle piece, and in the end, it'll give a clear picture as to what happened on April 1st, 2019. The defense attorney took the stand afterwards, explaining how his client, Chad Isaac, did not commit the crimes. New information on a manhunt we've been following for a month. Thanks to trail cam footage, 44-year-old Eric Reinbold was arrested near his parents' property off County Road 1 in Red Lake County, that's just north of Oakley, Minnesota. It happened this morning. Reinbold is charged with the murder of his wife in early July. New for you now at 4, 57-year-old Kyle Ramsey is officially charged with reckless endangerment. This surveillance video shows what led up to the shooting that led to the charge. Ramsey says he shot toward 21-year-old Hunter Havisto after he robbed the Mr. Money with a gun off 13th Avenue South in Fargo. Ramsey says he shot at Havisto's vehicle to help police identify it. We spoke with Ramsey today about the charge against him. He didn't want to comment. To the forecast, some of us finally saw a little rain today. Will there be more? Hutch?
Thanks so much, Stacy. Good evening, everyone. As we head into our late afternoon and early evening, we're seeing a few raindrops make their way down to the ground. This is not the kind of rain we need. It's not a super soaker event, but well, it's just as refreshing because it's cleansing the atmosphere of some of the smoke as we head into the evening hours. Here's a look at that radar. The heaviest showers along the international border, and I want to take a minute and point this out. The direction of movement of the individual showers is from southwest to northeast, and these sprinkles are working their way towards the source point for much of our smoke as we head into the afternoon hours. Now, here in the Mid-Valley, we have hit and miss showers moving east at 25 miles per hour, but that batch near Lisbon is going to be pushing in towards Enderlin and on towards Kindred by 4:37. So we may see another sprinkle here in the FM area, although it doesn't look heavy. Some of the heavier showers in our area in eastern parts of Lakes Country, Becker and Ottertail. Here's a look at your air quality index right now. Thanks to the showers that moved through, we saw them drop from around 100 to 79. So it does smell a lot better out there right now, but will it continue? No. We'll have a forecast for your smoke. We do have more chances of rain, though. If you didn't get a few drops today, we'll have details in a minute.
No, that seemed like a hard no. Oh, man. Thanks, Hutch.
Smoke is going to return. Yeah.
The owner of a designated driving service has been cited for DUI. Police say 36-year-old Christina Budke was speeding on 1st Avenue North, just west of the Plains Art Museum, when she crashed this morning. That crash left parts of downtown Fargo and Dilworth without power for hours. Budke is the owner of Sober Kitty, a designated driving service. Police say more charges may be coming. New developments for you now in a story we first told you at noon. 27-year-old Bradley Montero and 38-year-old Michael Meade Jr. were arrested this morning for violating their probation. The Red River Valley SWAT team was called to a home in the 900 block of 4th Avenue South near Island Park. Police say they also found a stolen firearm and drug paraphernalia during today's search. More charges against the two could be coming. Sanford Health has been targeted in a cybersecurity incident. They say no patient, resident, or employee personal or financial information has been compromised that they know of. Sanford Health President and CEO Bill Gasson says, in part, we're taking aggressive measures to contain the impact. We have engaged leading IT security experts to assist in the response and have notified and will be working closely with federal authorities. Essentia will require all staff members to be vaccinated against COVID as a condition of employment. This affects all employees, including remote workers, volunteers, students, and non-employed medical staff. Essentia says employees must receive their first dose of the vaccine by October 1st and the second dose in a 2-dose series by November 1st. Sanford is also requiring staff vaccinations. Altru in Grand Forks says they're still in the process of making a decision. The mayor of Fargo, Tim Mahoney, says another mask mandate isn't something he's considering. Mayor Mahoney says there's been a slight jump in active cases, roughly 20 to 80 this weekend, but that's not enough to cause alarm. He says he's watching the number of cases and hospitalizations, but with a 60% vaccination rate, Fargo is doing okay.
I don't think that's enough to cause alarm. I think that those things can happen, and you have to look at your 14-day average.
The mayor says in order for community members to continue getting back to normal, more people need to get vaccinated. Federal officials predict COVID cases will surge over the next 2 weeks. With only about half the U.S. population fully vaccinated, more and more places are bringing back mask mandates. But as Natalie Brand reports, some are facing opposition from their own state governments.
One day after New York became the first U.S. city to announce it will require the COVID vaccine for a variety of indoor activities, such as dining out and going to the gym, Mayor Bill de Blasio told CBS News he wants other local leaders to follow.
Tragically, if you don't get vaccinated, you're going to be left out.
A growing number of other city leaders have reinstated indoor mask mandates in light of a recent surge in cases, putting them at odds with state leaders in some places, such as Florida and Texas. Missouri's state attorney general is suing Kansas City's mayor, arguing he has no authority to impose a mask mandate and adding that children are less likely to be impacted by COVID-19.
He doesn't care about the outbreak in our community.
In hindsight, I wish that had not become law.
But in Arkansas, Republican Governor Asa Hutchinson expressed regret over his state's ban on mask mandates. He's called on state lawmakers to make an exception for schools. COVID vaccines authorized for children under 12 could come sometime this winter. U.S. health officials are also now assessing data from the U.S. and abroad to determine whether booster shots may be necessary for teens and adults.
What we're looking at in all of those data sources is evidence of the durability of protection going down, or evidence that breakthroughs are actually increasing. And when we see that clearly and consistently across the data, then we can make a recommendation.
Wednesday, the World Health Organization asked wealthy nations to hold off on boosters for the next couple of months to help meet its goal of vaccinating 10% of the population in all countries globally by the end of September. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
The Surgeon General says fully vaccinated people should still feel confident in a high degree of protection, and he says the vast majority of people with breakthrough infections are experiencing mild symptoms. Farmers are having a hard time getting a hold of a drug sold at Tractor Supply stores because people are taking it to treat COVID. It's a myth that's attracted a lot of attention. Ivermectin is used to treat parasitic worms, specifically in horses. The FDA is warning people it won't treat COVID. They say they've received multiple reports of patients who have required medical support and been hospitalized after self-medicating with ivermectin. Altru Health System is giving away 50 tickets to see Eric Church. He's playing at the Alara Center in Grand Forks on October 1st. To enter, you must receive a COVID vaccine from any Altru primary care clinic during the month of August and submit an entry in one of the Enter to Win boxes on location. You can schedule an appointment on Altru MyChart or by calling their COVID hotline 780-6358. Winners will be selected August 31st. Minnesotans can now submit their requests for the $100 vaccination rewards program. Anyone 12 and older who has received the first dose of the COVID vaccine since July 30th can submit a request for a $100 gift card. The form will remain open for submissions until August 15th. The governor says, quote, "We're at a critical juncture in the pandemic with the Delta variant pushing up case counts. The best tool we have is to get vaccinated." There's a new hands-on experience being offered at the Red River Zoo. You can now pay extra to feed porcupines or red pandas. The zoo tells us the porcupines are too prickly to be touched, but the pandas offer a nose-to-whisker experience.
The keepers get to talk to people about the animals. We get that education piece in. Guests get a really memorable experience. And of course, the zoo, it helps us to go on and continue with the care of our animals. So it's really a lovely way to support us.
Each experience allows up to 5 people. For prices and a link to schedule a visit, head over to valleynewslive.com. Still to come on Valley News Live at 4, airlines dropping the ball during peak travel season. Later, why one airline is calling it a perfect storm.
And while today's showers for most of us will only amount to at best a hundredth or a few hundredths, there's a look in at the Devil's Lake area from our home of economy location. Those showers pushing into Grand Forks now. We'll track those and have your forecast right after this.